Hey there, ladies. All right. Who are kingdom dream chasers? Entrepreneurs who are typically in the second half of life. And you know what we want more than anything? We want a life that we love, right? We have a relationship with the Lord, which just means we know that he loves us and we know that he wants what's best for us. And if you've been called to entrepreneurship, we understand however deep this goes at this time, okay? But we understand at some level, each of us, that he didn't call us here randomly. He didn't call us by accident. He called us specifically, okay? So we're going to talk about selling in network marketing. Why? Because if God's called you to the marketplace, if he's called you to be an entrepreneur, be in the online marketplace, and he's called you to network marketing, you are in relationship with women, or you want to be, right? I read something recently and it said, we don't acquire a lead or a customer in order to acquire a sale. We acquire a lead or a customer, potential customer. We acquire that lead to begin a relationship. And I thought that was so kingdom and so powerful. And it completely shifts your mindset from selling in network marketing to serving. Because when you have a heart posture to show up and build a relationship with someone, you show up completely differently than you do if you have a heart posture to show up and sell them on a product because you're like, I need the revenue, I need to make money. Now, listen, if you're in business, all right, you should be focusing on how do I grow my revenue? Because that's what a businesswoman does. If you're in business, breaking even, that's a hobby. All right. A business, by definition, means it's profitable. And the number one skill, if you haven't heard me talk about this yet, or it's worth hearing again and again and again till it seeps in, sneaks down to a deeper level within you. And that is, what is that number one skill of a business owner? And it is the ability to produce revenue. And when I heard that, something shifted inside me. And I'm going to tell you why it was so profound, or like really a breakthrough, because it suddenly took all of the details that were on my desk, in my calendar, and it made me look at them through a critical lens now. Is this activity going to help me produce revenue or not? Boom. So, and then the question became, okay, what activities will help me produce revenue? All right. So when we start looking at our business like that, we're looking at it with wisdom, with strategy, because we want to work smarter, not harder. We want a life we actually love. And how do we have that? It's profitable and it's not taking over our life. We're actually controlling the hours that we're working, not being controlled by the hours that we're working. Can I get an amen? Oh yeah, right? And this is the heart of what I do. I help women fall in love with their life and business. You're in business, you're an entrepreneur, you've been called here, but God wants you to do it with joy and with blessing and with impact. And if you're in business, it will be with profit. And we should not be ashamed of it. However, we want the driving. It's just like Matthew 6:33. God says, seek me first, Gail. And all these other things you're looking for, you're going to find them. And it's the same thing with sales and having a successful business. If you will seek the relationship first, if you will seek to serve her first, the sales are going to come. The sales are going to come. Now, what we're talking about today with selling and network marketing is my heart for you is to start leveraging. I want you to leverage what God has already given you with the products that you have, so that when you start looking into the next year or the next 12 months, you're saying, okay, how can I work with more efficiency, more effectiveness? So these are the kind of things that we want to kick to the curb. I'm busy. I'm so busy. I got to hustle to have a successful business and I don't want to do that. Therefore, I'm just going to just work whenever and do whatever. All right. Well, there are consequences, right, to telling ourselves that we have a business, but not having a business acumen or being productive and effective and using strategy and a proven method, right? So, what I'm challenging you to think about is expanding your concept of what your business might look like. How can you leverage what God's already given you in the marketplace to actually create an audience of interested, trusting, prospective buyers. Wow. How would it feel to you to have an audience that is growing because you're focusing on income producing revenue activities, to have an audience that's growing and the audience is filling up with women who are interested, they trust you, and they're going to be much more likely to buy. Wow. How do I do that, Gail? Well, that's what we're talking about. All right. So I've been talking about this 90 days to done. What the 90 days to done does is it pulls out of you what you've already experienced in your life. And God has already ignited a flame in you, passionate about helping other women. It's that question, that age old question. If you could help women right now with something, what would it be? What would it be? And actually, when you see them struggling with it, you're like, oh man, I've been there. That hurts to see them struggling like that. And I know if they could just do this, this, and this, I know that they would find hope again. They would find relief. They would get back on the road to purpose and joy, right? Because you've been there. So, how can you leverage what you've already got inside of you to share with the marketplace so that you pull forward those women? Because as you give them value, what happens? They start to trust you. And then you keep doing that, and then the audience starts to grow. So now you have a group of women who you're growing. You've grown the size of it because you keep giving this value offer, and they show up because you're giving value, you're helping them, you're giving them hope, and they're trusting you. So now when you move to the conversation, remember, I know I told you this was going to be about selling. Here we go. So when you move to the conversation about selling, what you're actually doing is now you're coming from a place of they trust you and they're probably going to be interested in what you have, but you're not going to go in for the sale, right? You're going to continue to build that relationship. So here are some key things that you want to remember. The most powerful thing you can do in sales is ask questions. Ask questions. Why? Because if you're asking questions about the product that you have, so let's say you have a product that helps people sleep better. All right. So questions might be about their energy level, their digestion. There might be about their mood. Why? Because all sleep impacts all of those things, right? So you're going to be asking them questions, and then you're going to be asking, so how do you know what time do you go to bed? Typically. What time do you wake up? Typically. How often do you wake up in the middle of the night? Typically. Do you see where I'm going with this? You're gathering powerful information. She's feeling seen, known, and heard. She already trusts you because you've helped her with something. And so her interest level, her trust level is much, much higher. So when you get to the point where you say, well, tell you what, based on what you've told me, right? And you repeat back. You told me that you sleep this much. You told me that your mood is this. You told me that your energy level is this. You told me that. So I have something that I think might really benefit. Why? Because it's going to help you do this, this, and this. And if you try it for 30 days, whatever, we have a money back guarantee. I would love to be able to walk alongside you while you're trying it and just see if this might really improve that mood, which is going to improve relationships, which is going to improve energy level, which is going to improve, right? All of the things. So when you have a heart posture to have a relationship rather than a sale, okay? Now, you can't control how they're perceiving things. And that's why expanding your thoughts about what it looks like to be a businesswoman in the marketplace and network marketing, and how can you start giving value based on something that's already inside of you, which is going to attract women to you, which is going to create an audience of trusting, interested buyers. Why are they interested? Because you've already given them value and they already trust you. Why are they interested? Because you're asking them questions, because you're building on a relationship, not going for the sale. And here's something else. As you continue to build that relationship, let's say they're not ready at that time to buy. And you might even say, based on what you're telling me, I'm not sure that what I have is right for you. Maybe you know someone else who might have something. Or you might say, I was thinking that this was going to be right for you, but I actually think I might suggest this. All right. Always with a heart posture of respecting them to make the decision. You're just repeating back to them what they've told you. Now, why is this so drastically different from usually what we've been trained to do in direct sales and network marketing? We've been trained to tell. Oh, I got the best products. Oh my gosh, have you seen our white label? We've got a patent on this. We've got a guarantee on that. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? It's like, I'm exhausted already and you haven't even started, right? We are putting up walls of resistance to the telling mindset of a salesperson. We want to be heard, and we're almost, I would even go as far as to say, we are demanding to be heard. And what I mean by that, here's an example. If you have somebody come in your inbox and they just drop a bunch of stuff, telling, they never asked you, they never asked a question, they never in that particular exchange, like maybe you've talked to them before, but maybe it's been a couple weeks or a month or whatever, and they just drop a whole bunch of stuff in there, sale this and that and look at this and look at that. They never asked you, hey, how you doing? Hey, I've got something I think you might be interested in because of this or this. Or better yet, hey, do you ever struggle with this or this? Because if so, and then you wait for the answer. You don't tell them. You wait for the answer. You're respecting them. So the person is like demanding to, here comes the demanding part. Because if you just throw this stuff in there, guess what? I don't even respond really anymore. Because you're coming at me to sell. You're not coming at me to serve. You're not coming at me to build a relationship. And so so when I say people in the marketplace are actually the buyer is almost demanding to be heard, what I'm saying is if you're going to jump, and I talk to women all day long, and I believe if we did a survey right now of 1,000 women online in the second half of life, and we asked if someone comes into your inbox and they drop a bunch of stuff, are you even responding? I bet you would get over 50% would say they're not even responding to it. So what does that tell you? Not only are you you're working against yourself if you do that. Now, I know some of you are like, but I just want to give them the information and then they can do with it what they want. That's not what we want. We don't want information. We want a relationship. We want you to respect us. We want you to value. And so that is the heart posture that we want to have if we're going to sell in network marketing. We are actually showing up to serve, to ask questions, to be curious, right? And so when we look at this 90 days to done, what we're doing is we're finding a way to leverage what's happening with our people in the marketplace. How can I give her value, show up and give value, and in so doing, am going to create an environment where she is drastically more interested. I'm talking, I will be as bold to say, and you can challenge me on this if you want. I would love for you to, but I'm going to be as bold to say that if you're out there marketing, you're marketing your products, okay? You're trying to get people interested. Maybe you got some before and after pictures. Maybe you got a sale. Maybe you got a bestseller, whatever, okay? And that's, you're kind of dealing with that lukewarm to cold traffic, all right? Hoping that someone's going to eventually be interested, other than your sister and your mother and your sister-in-law. All right, so that's the typical thing that's going on right now, all right? So what if you had this offer to give them value, all right, to give them something of value, to do this, Zoom gathering where you're going to give them value? What percentage of increase do you think you would experience if you had 100 women that were in that lukewarm to cold category? Now they've come into a Zoom gathering with you, you've given them value. Now they're warm leads. Can you imagine the graph of increase from how much more interested they are now? There's no comparison, all right? So as you mentor, as you guide based on your own experience, you're leveraging the marketplace so that you can create an atmosphere where people are going to be much more likely to want to know about what you have to offer. All right. So it's really combining that gift that you have inside you, mentoring women through it, and then naturally the conversation for skincare or wellness products is going to naturally come up. Okay. So, we are going to, let's see here. We've got, I'm inviting you every month, pretty much without exception. I do a live event. Why? Because I'm wanting to give value to my audience. Because when I give value to my audience, I'm creating a group of women that are much more likely to be interested in a next step with me. Now, my products are digital products or service-based products, right? So it's coaching or it's a group coaching or it's a course, right? So, but that doesn't matter. Your products might be physical products or they might be a combination thereof. Okay. Um, as you nurture, as you give value, you're going to increase the likelihood that they want to continue with you. And every time you go through the process and you get better at serving instead of selling, you get better at asking instead of telling, you're going to be growing that audience, growing that trust, and growing your sales. So I hope this was a blessing to you. Always check down in the link in the show notes below. There will be links there. Click those links and see what is coming up so you can join us, come into a smaller community where we get to see your face and we get to say hello and we get to give you value. And then you get to see if whatever we have coming up might be something that will bless your business. All right, guys. See you soon.